Alright guys, so we just went over all of the files and stuff that you're going to need. Now we're going to get into the editing a little bit. So like I said, make your game, make a copy one of the ROMs, paste it in here, name it what you want, and then that's what we'll be editing. So before we even start with the map editing, I'm going to tell you about Advanced Starter really quick. I'm just going to run it. It's a really simple program. You literally open the game that you want. So I'm going to go down to Pokemon Light Green, and it's going to open the ROM, tell you it's Pokemon Leaf, your language, and from here it's pretty self-explanatory. You change the starter Pokemon to the Pokemon you want. So if you really wanted, you could put, you know, all of the legendaries as starters if you really wanted to. You could put just different ones from normal, like maybe Seviper, Zangoose, and Venonat. So stuff like that. And you can also set the level that your starter will be, and you will also be able to set an item that he starts off with. So I always start it with a Master Ball just because there are multiple legendaries, and the Ultra Balls work, but it gets kind of annoying. So a second Master Ball wouldn't be too bad. Now keep in mind that when it says your starter Pokemon, it refers to the guy. So if you're actually a girl and you always pick the girl, when the Pokemon that you would be picking come from down here. So you would change these three to what you want. See, it's automatically default selected as May. So that's all with Advanced Starter. There's really not any kind of need to go into further detail with it. So we're going to open Advanced Map, and we're going to do a little brief run through. What I mean by brief run through is just basically where things are at and how things work. So we click this right here, or you can go to File and Open, and then you go find your ROM, and we're going to double click it, and it's going to open. Now what you're going to see is header, INI, and map files. Header means all of your actual main routes, game's main areas. Now Leaf Green and Fire Red are different from the Sapphire and Ruby. Because in the header, if we click branch 3 is where we find all of our cities and routes. In Sapphire and Ruby, all the main towns and routes are in 0. So that's the only thing you really need to know there. Also, well, I guess that's pretty much it. We won't be messing with most of the others because most of the other ones are just like insides of buildings, and I just want to change, some of the maps. So for starting to make our own game, let's first of all get familiarized with a couple things before we get into any main creating. So the right side here are our tiles. Now tiles, we can add like flowers to the map. We could add trees. We can move buildings around. Pretty much everything to do with that is what we're going to be messing with. Movement permissions. This is the most important thing ever in a created Pokemon game. Ones mean that you can't walk through it. So if you make a giant rock in the middle of your map, don't put C's on it, or you will walk right through that rock. C's mean you can walk through it, ones mean you can't, and 4 means surf, which is basically, it's a 1, but it allows you to surf on the water. So those are actually the only 3 code we will ever be needing to know about. And if you see a 0, that just means it's unused space at the moment. The events tab, this is kind of important. Right here where it shows Ash, you can click Show Sprites, and it'll switch between either the translucent boxes with letters or people, and that's it. So first of all, we need to know what we're doing before we start anything. So leaf green, in case you've never played the actual games before, which I don't know anyone who hasn't. We all know Professor Oak, once you walk up here, an event will come up where he walks over to the grass here. Now if you put a building right here, he will walk through the building and it'll look retarded in your game, and he'll walk to you and carry you through the building to get back to this entrance. That's a script, and we won't be dealing with script. So please don't, or just be aware that if you change anything in the game, be aware if it had a script like a rocket walking away or something, you wouldn't want to put him walking through stuff because it just looks bad. Now I can actually show you what I mean by it, but I'm not going to because it's going to take too much time. So just be wary of that. Wild Pokemon, for some reason there's grass here, but if we go to wild Pokemon, normally there's not supposed to be any, but you can choose all of your wild Pokemon from here, and you can put the minimum level it starts at and the maximum level you want it to go to in the wild. So that would be that, and you can choose from the first 3 generations, including all of the legendary Pokemon. Header is where you edit the map and also edit the area you're working in. So right now we're in Pallet Town. Music, we can change the music you hear in Pallet Town if you wanted. So let's say I want, where is it? My favorite music's actually where is it? It's Pallet Town Fame remix. I don't know where it is. I see Pallet Town. Oh, here it is, the Fame remix. That one's really cool. I like that music. And then you can set the weather. Cave would be inside the cave. You can set whether it's an actual village, a city, a route. Weather you can create, if you want it to be snowing or mist or sandstorm, you can do that. 3 snowflakes is actually pretty cool. I like that one as well. And fight type would be like when you get into a battle, if there's a battle there, you can change it, like the rocket battles, gym style area battles, stuff like that, the Elite Four. And the last thing that we're going to need to know about the header is this is how we add stuff to the map if you want to add space to your map. Map dimensions, maybe I want 30 by, or wait, no, maybe I want 35 by 25. You click change dimensions, and then go back to map, and you'll see there's all this black space. Now if we go to movement permission, this is where zeros come in, because zeros mean it hasn't been used yet. It's just cyberspace, just out there waiting to be used. So what we would do now is go over to here and start making our map if you wanted. Now for the sake of this, I do want to give you a tip right away. If you hold Control and right click and then hold the right click and drag, we can copy this entire tree line and put it over here so we don't have to do it again. So it's automatically done. Just like that. So, and then, from here you would have to do movement permissions according to. So the good thing about the copy is it'll copy the movement with the thing. So these are trees, you can't walk through it, which is why there's ones there. since I added grass over here, I'd put C's because I can walk on it. And if I added like a little lake or something, I'd put 4s. So really simple stuff with advanced map. And one I guess I'll finish off with these boxes. Instead of just the people, you can move the people around to wherever you want, and you can change their picture number. So maybe I want the picture of that girl to be someone in Team Rocket. So there you go. I put Team Rocket in there. But if we click this, we'll get all these boxes. These S's you don't want to mess with because those refer to script. And this person is actually scripted, which is Professor Oak. Blech. So you definitely don't want to mess with him. Now here's what we can do. Because we know Professor Oak is scripted on this particular beginning map, when you go up here, he would go up, over, and up, and then he'd come down, over, and go into the building here. We wouldn't want to move this building. However, we could move these buildings if we want. So basically, if we moved these buildings over, the W means warp, which means you can walk through it and it would take you to the inside of that house. If you switch warps with this warp, the Pokemon Lab would become this, and this would become the house. So you don't want to switch warps, you want to make sure you keep track of those. These kinds of S's refer to things such as like hidden items on the ground, text on signs, and stuff like that. And then the P refers to the people. So if we were to move this house over here, we would make sure to bring the W where the new door is, and the F in front of that door that's already here, because that's just what you do. Really, as far as anything else goes, there's not a whole lot more to go over. I mean, it's really simple, and it's all about you just creating your own game. You can change how big you want the route or map to be. You can change every look of the map that you want. You could add rocks. You can just make your own visual game. Unfortunately, you won't be able to make a full game, which refers to having people when you like making new buildings. That's scripting, and that's a little more advanced for me, and I can't do that yet. I haven't really sat down and took the time to try and do it because I'm happy with just changing maps and playing through different maps because I like the original story anyway. But if you wanted to make a new house and be able to enter it, you would have to learn how to script, and I don't know how to do that. So you'd have to look that stuff up on your own. But you'll get the general ability to do whatever you want with these maps. You could literally move the Pokemon Center way over here, move the gym up here, make this a one solid square look. I mean, just change the map from what it used to be to a new style. And a lot of people have done that, and that's why I'm showing you how to do it. Because it's basically a cheap way of making your own game without the time and scripting involved. So hopefully, you know, the tutorials do help you a little bit. I don't really have anything else I would be able to do a tutorial on, but I guess maybe I could show you a little bit about gpSP if someone asked. But basically I just showed you everything that you need to know, and I guess maybe I'll make one more part of me making an actual map. So I guess I'll do that next. So I'll see you then. Have a good day, guys.